We'll start in the NFC South with the Atlanta Falcons, and I think they've had one of the worst off seasons of any team so far. Devonta Freeman gone, Desmond Trufant gone, Devondre Campbell gone, and Vic Beasley all gone from that team.
Good riddance.
They bring in
Austin Hooper.
And Austin Hooper, which I think they were actually smart not to overpay him because he had one good season, really.
Where did he go?
Cleveland, which they overpaid for him badly, too.
They overpaid for everybody.
Yeah. All right, so, again, they lose Beasley. They replace him with Dante Fowler, which I didn't like. Double the price, 3 years, $48 million for a guy who's really just a speed rusher. Don't like that. And then Todd Gurley. It's a gamble. We'll see if it works, but don't like it. In terms of the draft, they're going to have to do more defense. Pass rush should be
I actually like that move, the Todd Gurley move.
I mean, I think if you're going to gamble on an injury-prone running back, I think you're better off keeping Freeman, who you know fits in that system. That's just me. But, all right. In terms of the draft, I think pass rush...
Melvin Gordon is an injury-prone player?
He is an injury-prone player,
all
but
right.
Todd Gurley has arthritic knees.
Okay. That doesn't mean he can't have a good season.
Okay.
Adrian Peterson tore his ACL and MCL and practically his whole knee, and he came back, and he was the best running back in football.
All right. That was one miraculous recovery.
And why can't Gurley do that?
I actually think that's going to be a good place for Todd Gurley because Atlanta's system is a two running back system. That actually might help his durability.
But who's that second running back? He's not there right now. Maybe it's a draft pick. I don't know.
They have other running backs. Come on.
Who's there? But Brian Hill is like a guy you're going to trust as a second running back?
Brian Hill was terrific last year. Go ahead and tell me.
He had like 2 good games, Jeff. I don't know. All right, in terms of the draft, I think pass rush and corners are going to have to be their priority because they lost Trufant now, so they lost Alford last offseason. So you're trusting Isaiah Oliver, and I think Kendall Sheffield's their other corner right now. So they're going to need some corner help and pass rush badly. Like I said, for the Cowboys, either Chason or Espinoza, if he falls to their pick at 16, would be where I would go. Linebacker, again, it would be something, but it's not really a big strength in this draft, maybe until later in the first round. So maybe if they want to trade up to the end of the second round, they could get someone, or beginning of the second round, they find someone to replace Campbell. So that's where I would go. And maybe a running back in the third round or something like that to give some insurance to Gurley.
Go ahead.
All right, as for the Carolina Panthers...
Go through the whole South.
As for the Carolina Panthers, they also lost a lot this offseason, starting with obviously Luke Kuechly retiring, which was not surprising but with the players retiring younger now. But again, they lost him. They lost a lot on that defensive line with Addison gone, McCoy, and Dontari Poe gone.
They lost a lot of players this offseason. And then they bring in a new coach. I'm very interested to see what this new coach is going to bring to the table because this is a rookie coach that's never coached in the NFL. So all those signs are not good. So
yeah, so a lot of new players on that team. They traded Trey Turner for whatever reason to the Chargers for Russell Okung, who's a 31-year-old tackle who hasn't been good in a while. Very strange move. I like to hear Whitehead 1 year, $2.5 million. Obviously, he's not going to be anywhere close to Luke Kuechly, but he'll at least fill the void. He's a decent linebacker. Trey Boston's not bad to bring back. They bring in Robby Anderson for 2 years, $20 million.
What are you laughing about? That was a good deal for them.
Really?
Yeah.
$10 million a year for Robby Anderson. You just listed all the problems Robby Anderson
Oh, I'm not
had.
a big fan of Robby Anderson, but for them, for that organization, he first of all, he has some kind of background with Teddy Bridgewater. Him and Teddy have been friends for a very long time, so...
Yeah, but you want to know what? This is what Speedy does, because this will just highlight how stupid Speedy is. Sorry, but it's just the truth. Robby Anderson isn't a number 1 wide receiver. We all get that. But guess what? He's going to a place where he can be a number 3, and he'll probably thrive in that role because, believe it or not, the Panthers had 2 of the top 3 receivers in the league last year with Curtis Samuel and who was the other kid?
DJ Moore. Yes, and I understand that, but they're both. But Anderson's a similar type to them.
But he's probably going to thrive in that role as a number 3. Okay, he wasn't a number 1 on the Jets, but who is?
I know that. I'm just saying he's too similar to those guys already. I'm not going to pay a number 3 receiver $10 million when I have other needs.
I don't even remember the last time the Jets had a number 1. Santonio Holmes? And
for a year, maybe.
I mean,
no. Listen, I wasn't taking a shot at the Jets.
No, I'm taking a shot at the Jets. I don't remember the last time they had a number 1. Braylon Edwards wasn't a number 1. He was a number 2.
He was a number 1 when he got there, but he didn't play like
He was a number 2.
But this is what we have forever said about Robby Anderson. That he's not number 1, but he would probably thrive if he had, it's like Amari Cooper in Dallas. We were just talking about that. Amari Cooper's fine. He's terrific. That's great. But you got to have someone on the opposite side of him. And Robby Anderson has never had that, and now he will in Carolina.
No, I get that. I just wouldn't pay $10 million. I think there's better things you could pay $10 million for.
Charlie Rose actually wrote something to us on Facebook. What do you think the Panthers are giving Cam? Oh, wait, hold on.
Well, they can't trade him now,
What
Charlie.
do you think of the Panthers giving Cam to the Pats after Brady went to the Bucs?
They can't trade him now. They got him already.
No. He giving him away, pretty much. He's a free agent. That's what he's saying. Giving him away. Dude, does he go to the Pats? I don't think he's going to the Pats.
I don't either.
It won't happen. It won't happen. The Patriots, dude. Do you know what the Patriots have left the salary cap room right now?
Not a lot, right?
I think it's $12 million or something like that.
Yeah, $2 million.
Oh, $2 million. Wow. Jeez.
I'm surprised because the Patriots always good with the salary cap. Every year they're good with the salary cap.
Well, they have $13 million of dead money from Brady leaving.
Right.
That would have saved them like $6 if Brady had stayed. But so it's $13 million this year. But next year the Patriots have over $100 million in cap space. So okay, this is going to be a down year for the Patriots in cap space. Next year they have $100 million.
I think the Patriots will be fine, especially with that extra team making the playoffs. I think the Patriots have still a very good chance of making the playoffs, especially how weak the AFC is. It's just very weak.
They're a 7-9 team this year.
I think they're better than that.
I think they could be that too, but again, if
I think they're an
some
8-8 team.
circumstances happen, or again, if the AFC is really that weak, maybe the pressure of the AFC East gets to them, maybe they could squeak it out. We don't know.
Listen, as long as Bill Belichick is running that organization and that team, they could be a 9-7 and 8-8 team, and they could squeak in and make the playoffs. And I think they will. I think they will.
I want to see what they do with the draft, but as of right now, they're a 7-9 team because just look at their schedule. They won the division last year, so they play all the division winners. They play Houston, they play Baltimore, they play Kansas City. Those aren't going to be wins for the Patriots this year. They're going to have, Buffalo's much tougher. Who knows if they can even beat, but Buffalo might beat them twice, right? Miami always seems to beat them at least once, right? So I'm just giving you 6 losses right off rip. And I haven't even looked at the rest of the schedule.
NFC West and AFC West is the rest of their schedule.
Oh, NFC West, that seems like a cakewalk, right? Because they'll only have to play the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers who made the Super Bowl last year.
It's going to be very interesting. It really is.
They're going to be a bad team this year. The year after, they might be able to bounce back if they can get...
They'll be fine as long as Bill Belichick is over there. I think they're a borderline playoff team in my eyes. I do.
But Cam Newton to the Patriots is...
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Unless they figure out a way to somehow either convince Cam Newton to only take $1 million, which is what Brian Hoyer got, or they magically restructure a bunch of contracts to free up some salary cap room, Cam Newton is not happening.
Don't be surprised if the Patriots draft a quarterback in the late first round. They move up in the late first round or draft if somebody falls to them in the late first round draft.
They don't have the draft picks to move up.
Well, I'm just saying they could find a way.
Well,
Trust me.
They lost their second to trading Sanu.
Knowing the Patriots, they'll find a way. So, and I do believe that in the second round, if they don't get one in the first, they'll get one in the second. I believe the Patriots will draft a quarterback in this year's draft.
Well, they won't get one in the second because they don't have a.
They don't have a second round pick. They traded for Sanu.
Okay,
I think they have multiple third-round picks though.
So they can move up in the second round.
They have four third round picks.
All right, so they can move.
Okay.
So they can move up in the second round, and I do believe if somebody falls to them in the second round that they like, they'll move up and get them. And that's Bill Belichick. He'll find if he likes I'm sure he likes a quarterback in his draft. He'll find a way to get him. So and they did that with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo fell out of the first round. They got him in the second round. So I know that you're a conspiracy theorist, Errol. You'll love this. Is Bill Belichick just trying to be bad for 1 year so he can, stockpile some draft picks, that kind of thing, and then, maybe be, if they miss the playoffs, what would they be drafting? 13, 14, 12,
maybe.
13, 14, 15,
if they're 7-9, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How much more would it take to move up to number 1 and get Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, it depends on who's number 1, though.
They're not getting Trevor Lawrence no matter what. And I listened to Mikey C's speculations that Trevor Lawrence will be a Patriot. Even if the Patriots have the 5th, they're not going to be that bad. They're going to be number 1, number 2, or number 3. But they're going to be bad. If they're bad, they're going to be a 7-9 team. That means they're going to be a 6 or 7 seed. They're going to get the 6th or 7th. They're not going to move up to get Trevor Lawrence because whoever goes number 1 is not moving out of that position. Whoever's drafted, even if they have a quarterback in the future, they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence.
But after this year, let's be honest, after this year, who could possibly need a quarterback? Because, if the Bengals are taking Joe Burrow, they won't need one. If the Chargers are taking Justin Herbert or Jordan Love, they won't need one. Miami certainly won't need one. They can choose between Rosen or Tua or whoever they're taking.
There might be a team, Chicago,
yeah. Jacksonville.
But they just traded for 5 years of Nick Foles. Right, so Jacksonville's the other one. Jacksonville's going to get the left quarterback.
Jacksonville, even if the Miami Dolphins decide to go with Tua, that doesn't mean that Tua is going to be 100% healthy. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe they like Trevor Lawrence. We don't know. Maybe they were just smoke screening Tua the whole time.
Who knows? We don't know what these teams are going to do. And again, even though they have a starting quarterback now, if Trevor Lawrence is sitting over there and they believe he's the best prospect we've seen since Andrew Luck, they're going to draft him, no matter if they have one. The Lions also. They're looking for a quarterback too. So I absolutely believe, even if they draft a quarterback in the second or third round, if they get the number one pick, they're drafting.
How about the team we were just talking about? If Bridgewater's not the answer, Carolina,
listen,
they could do it too.
And I'm saying this, and this is the truth, and I'm a Jet fan, and I love Sam Darnold. If the Jets are drafting number one, they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence. I'm telling you right now. Trevor Lawrence is one of those quarterbacks that are a sure thing. They believe he's a sure thing in the NFL. They're not going to. No team is going to trade out of that position. And if you do trade into that position, you're going to give up a lot to get him. A lot.
Right.
Because
that's going to be the team looking for the haul back, which, again, maybe the Patriots have that best haul, but, again, there's going to be a lot of other teams that we've seen them trade for draft picks, stockpile them, like Miami just did this year. There's going to be other teams that start to do that, too. Maybe the Jaguars are trying to do it. They're selling short on a lot of them, but maybe they're trying to do it, too. There's always going to be those other teams that are going to start doing that and take the Dolphins model. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but there are going to be teams taking on that model.
Go ahead, Speedy. Finish up.
So New Orleans Saints. This is one of the NFC South teams that actually did really well this offseason. They did what they needed to do to get Drew Brees
Your
back.
lovers.
Really?
Yes.
My lovers.
Them in Atlanta have always been your lovers.
I just bashed Atlanta. I said they had one of the worst offseasons.
This year.
Okay.
This year. Last year, for the last 2 years, you loved them. Go ahead.
And you loved them the year before. What's your point?
Yes, I did. When they were actually decent.
They had the same roster.
They were actually
Plus Calvin Ridley and a bunch of other young linemen.
They were decent the year before last. So,
yes, they were. I know.
Not last year. I didn't think they were going to be any good. But go ahead.
So the Saints bring back Drew Brees. They needed to do that. 2 years, $50 million. All right, you paid him, but you needed to pay him. They bring back Taysom Hill for now. We'll see where he goes after that. He wants out. Two really good moves. Malcolm Jenkins, I think, was an excellent move for them. 4 years, $32 million. They needed a safety. They needed a slot corner. I think that's a perfect move for them. And it's only $8 million a year. That's not bad. $16.25 million guaranteed.
Too much.
And then
for a washed-up wide receiver.
Malcolm Jenkins?
I'm talking about Emmanuel Sanders. I didn't even get to Emmanuel Sanders yet. I think that's crazy.
And then DJ Swearinger's another one, another box safety. I think is a nice move for them. 1 year, $1.1 million. Sanders, I kind of agree with you on.
They gave Malcolm Jenkins a lot of money.
I don't think that's that bad though.
That's a lot of money.
$8 million a year for $16.25.
I
think he's 31. That's not. I don't think that's all awful. And he knows the Saints already. He'll know how to.
That's a lot of money for a 31-year-old.
I don't think it's that bad. And they really needed a safety. It was one of their biggest things they needed. They lost Von Bell. Marcus Williams and took a step back last year. I think it was a good move for them.
You got to get through this, Speedy.
I agree with you on Sanders, though. I think it's a little much for him. But again, it's also a need. So we'll see. It's only 2 years.
A need? The 49ers, how many draft picks did they trade for Emmanuel Sanders? And he was a
that was a bad trade. I agree.
He was a complete bust. They gave up second round and a fourth round for Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's going to be more of a rotational type receiver. And I think $8 million is still a little much for that. But again, it's only 2 years, so it might work. So, all right, so that's the Saints. Tampa, we know what they did with Tom Brady.
What do they need to do in the draft, the Saints?
Oh, the Saints? More secondary could always help, I would say. Or maybe
they lost Eli Apple, so they're going to need secondary help.
Okay. I see what you did there. Nice try, though. And then receiver. I think that's really it. They really have everything else on that team.
There's a kid coming out in the fourth round. His last name is Vibrator.
Oh, God. Enough.
Yes. Jeff Vibrator.
Stop it.
Go ahead.
As for Tampa, they brought in Tom Brady. I mean, we'll see how he fits with Arians. We already went over that a lot. Kevin Minter, former Cardinal, fits with Todd Bowles. I think that's a nice move. No terms agreed to on that deal. And they bring back JPP and Ndamukong Suh. And they franchise tag Shaq Barrett. We'll see what that does. He had one great season so far. But again, he never got the opportunity with Denver. So we'll see. In terms of the draft offensive line, I think it has to be a priority now that they got Brady in the first round because he's not going to be able to move around at 43 years old. They have to take one of those tackles, even if it means trading up a little bit to steal one of those 4 tackles.
Good luck.
And then second round after that, I would work on the defense.